Welcome to KELA's Let's Talk About It, coming to you live from the KELA Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel Broadcast Studio in Centralia. Join us for a discussion on a variety of topics of interest to Southwest Washington area listeners. Keep our listener call-in and text line handy. 330-5352. That's 330-KELA. Views expressed on the show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, management, or advertisers. Daily programs are recorded for playback, podcasts, and promotional purposes. And now, let's talk about it.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Let's Talk About It show on AM1470 KELA and KELAAM.com. I'm your host this morning, this Friday, June 27th, this Friday edition. My special guest is Kim Ashmore. Kim Ashmore is retiring after, I don't know, like 20 generations of working for the City of Centralia and working for the people of Lewis County. He's done an amazing job, and he's a good friend of mine, and today's technically his last day on the job, though I know he probably put in extra time so that he can come to the show at 8:30 in the morning and just talk a little bit about the City of Centralia. I know his passion is roads. I mean, he does public works, but, we'll probably talk a little bit about, transportation benefit districts and some of the things going on in Centralia. But I also want to give a really good flavor and an honor to him for all his hard work for the city and the residents of Centralia. So stay tuned right here on AM1470 KELA and streaming at KELAAM.com. And my special guest this morning is Kim Ashmore. Hi, Kim.
Good morning. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I mean, you and I have talked for many, many years over coffee or at meetings, but, we've never really sat down in this type of venue and one, to talk a little bit about what you're doing in the City of Centralia and what's going on, but also to give you a lot of props for all your hard work, because I know you've got a passion for the City of Centralia. You're always wearing your black and orange, but you care. It's more than just a job. I mean, I see you volunteering in so many things.
Yeah. I felt like over this past week, just talking with people, you're born into public service, and that's what I'm really passionate about is Centralia. The kids in this district, I served 12 and a half years on the school board, giving back that way. But volunteering 41 plus years with the City of Centralia, it's a public service that I've enjoyed. I've loved. I want to continue it when I move to Idaho soon.
A good red state.
A good red state. I've already looked at the CUNA City Council meetings. I got those in my calendar.
Yeah.
That might be part of my calling in the future, but I'm volunteering. They're having a golf cart parade on July 4th, and I'm already a judge signed up for that event, so I'm already getting plugged in CUNA, Idaho, and I hope to just continue teaching my grandkids what public service means and what it looks like.
Well, I know from watching you around the community, you are the epitome of public service, and I know you care about our kids and our students in our city. So 41 some years ago, I won't tell you how old I was, but I was very young. So how did you get started with the city? I mean, what was your calling to start working for the City of Centralia?
It was seasonal summer help. So
Right.
We hire a lot of kids. We try to get local kids, Centralia mostly, because their folks are paying some of these rates and taxes on the roads and the water and wastewater. So I started as a seasonal summer help at 18 years old. Worked 3 months for the street department. The water department asked me to work 3 months after that. That continued for a couple of years, and then Jim Smith, the former water department manager guy, came to me and he says, "Red, how would you like a full-time job?" I was 20 years old. I thought that sounded cool.
Yeah.
Money is good, right?
Money's good.
Yeah. And so I was hired. That was my hiring process. There was no sit down and interview with 3 or 4 people and background checks. It was just, do you want a full-time job? And so I took that chance, and that was in 1984. And just slowly over the years, I just looked at, what else is there? What's after, summer help? What's after labor? What's supervision, managing, directorship? Ultimately, never the city manager, but as high as I really wanted to go. The director of public works and caring about that program and the things that we do, that just seemed like the ultimate job for me, dream job for me. And I've been fortunate enough to have 41 years with the City of Centralia and all in public works. And I'm excited about the past, but I'm also excited about the future.
Well, and it's a really cool origin story for you, because for anybody who lives or works in Centralia, especially, downtown, you always see the water trucks coming out to water the baskets. You always see the summer help coming back. A lot of these are high school or college kids. It's a good job. It's a good entry job. And that program's still, doing well right now in the city.
It is. We have, there's probably between Parks and Public Works, who hire the most summer help. We probably have 20 to 25 kids that come in the summertime and work for the various departments. 2 or 3 at wastewater, 2 or 3 at the water department. Streets has 5 summer help, I believe. Parks has 10, to help with the summertime. So, we're always looking for kids in the summertime. When I go over to David Bly's class, civics class at the high school, we really promote the summer jobs because these kids are seniors getting ready to graduate. They're trying to figure out their future, and we're trying to help give them an option of maybe Public Works is your calling in the future.
Yeah, and no, it's a great opportunity. If you're just tuning into the Let's Talk About It show here on Friday, I'm your host, Peter Abbarno. My special guest, Kim Ashmore. We're talking about, his 41 years with the city. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about the school district as well, because you were on the school board for a number of years. So you not only worked as an employee of the city, but, you're an elected official too. You always have the HON when we send you a letter, right? Honorable. So
yeah.
How is that working for the students, the teachers, the school district, and representing the community?
Well, the position was open in 2007, and I decided then, after talking with my wife, that this is something I wanted to pursue. So I put my name in the hat. There was 3 or 4 candidates.
Did she say, are you crazy?
No, no.
She was like,
she didn't. I think she already knew, because I've been on some other boards before that previously, but never an elected position. So I was appointed to fill it, but then I had to turn right around and apply to fill out the term and run again. And I ran unopposed almost every 4 years until the last term, and I had a couple people run against me, but I won that election. And I think just getting on the school board, one of the things that was new to us in 2007 was a stormwater permit from the Department of Ecology, and part of that permit process, which I was managing, was education and outreach. So for me, schools, kids, education, outreach seemed to work, and stormwater is all about trying to clean up the water before it gets into the creeks and the rivers and streams. And going out and educating kids, it was a perfect fit. I had the elected position as school board member, but I also was in classrooms talking with kids about picking up after their pets or not dumping something down the drain that doesn't belong there. So that continued for 12 and a half years. It was an awesome relationship. I am a Tiger. I graduated in 1981. You probably weren't even born yet, but
I was born.
Okay. But, giving back that way. And then as a school board member, I know it's not one meeting a month. You've got to be in classrooms. You've got to be in the lunchroom buying Tom Turkey gravy. I have a lifetime membership now for Tom Turkey gravy that Dr. Lisa Grant presented me Tuesday night.
Nice.
So anytime Tom Turkey gravy comes, I might even make a trip back from Idaho just for Tom Turkey gravy. 8-hour drive. Get that lunch.
It's worth it, right?
It's worth it.
Well, and I remember how excited you were when you got your giant metal salmon. Remember the big fish that you would bring around to all the schools? Yeah, Finn. I mean, that's part of, I think, your passion for not just serving the community, but educating the next generation of Centralians, right?
Yeah, and Finn is the reason. I mean, it's a giant, 26-foot long salmon, fiberglass salmon. Kids can crawl inside of it. It's got paintings on the inside. But part of that message is if we're not taking care of the water that's going down the drains, because those storm drains go to China Creek, they go to the Skookumchuck River, Chehalis River, those would pollute those fish-bearing streams, and we want fish to come back up those rivers. We want to have those opportunities for our kids to go fishing or see the fish, and so Finn was a perfect part of that message. This salmon does not live in polluted water. Yeah. It needs clean water to survive.
Yep, and it takes all of us to make sure that we educate folks on how to do that, right?
It does.
And I like the fact that this is also about personal responsibility. You and I are kind of more small government folks. We're like, we don't need the heavy hand from Olympia coming down telling us. This is an educational piece where, it's all about just behavior, just changing your behavior and protecting our waterways.
I have a perfect example of behavior change. I seen one fall about a 10, 11-year-old kid sweeping leaves out into the road, and that is against code in Centralia, but education-wise, he doesn't know any different. His mom probably told him, or his dad, to go out and sweep the leaves in the road. The city will pick them up. We've not done that for 10 years. It's more of sweep them into these leaf containers. LeMays will come pick them up free of charge, and then we're recycling those leaves and using them as compost. So changing the behavior of an 11-year-old kid where maybe his mom or dad told him, nope, that's how we've always done it.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's change.
And I order mine every year. And you can do that. You can call the city and you order your bin. It's free, right?
It's free.
You free and you just load it up and they pick it up.
Fill it up every Thursday, and LeMays will pick it up and we'll recycle those and reuse them.
And then you don't have all the storm drains filling up, and then you get backed up, and then you get the localized flooding. It's not the catastrophic river flooding. It's the localized street flooding, which is also a huge problem.
It is. And if you think about all the beautiful downtown trees, They shed their leaves, and if those are plugging up intersections and people are driving through those intersections at 25, 30 miles an hour with 6 inches of water standing, now it's rolling up into the businesses, possibly damaging businesses, getting in their doors. There's just so many wrong things about putting leaves out in the street. We want people to call the city. That comes up in the fall when you start to see that weather change, the leaves start to fall. Call us. We'll get you a leaf bin.
Yep, and those beautiful trees need to be replaced with smaller trees, I think.
Correct.
For our sidewalks, right?
Yes.
And our streets, and because that's another thing. This show can last 10 hours, but another big initiative you had, keeping our sidewalks safe because of all the lips the trees end up raising it up. You've done an amazing job, and we've worked together when I was on city council, but also at the state. But you really headed up, grinding those lips down so people don't trip and fall. It's danger. And,
it is.
And you've done a great job.
Yeah. And we're currently getting ready to replace some more sidewalks. We received another grant from WCIA, the Washington Cities Insurance Authority, a small grant to help replace some sidewalks, and they're raised 2-3 inches. Those are definitely trip hazards, and we want to eliminate those.
Yeah. And another thing, I know that when I was on city council as well, and if you're just tuning in, I'm your host this morning on Friday the 27th, your host Peter Abbarno, my special guest this morning, Kim Ashmore. Kim is retiring from the City of Centralia. Yeah, he was a former school board member in Centralia and just an all-around great guy and good volunteer for our community. We're talking about some of his initiatives, his passions, and another one was the Transportation Benefit District is something that, I knew about, I appreciated, but really didn't get into the weeds till you and I went all over the city, almost every street, talking about these different projects and how we can improve really old streets and the different levels of different layers. Some you got to strip down to the beginning, and others you just kind of you grind down. So tell me a little bit about that, because that's been a pretty successful program.
Very successful. So that was approved by council in 2014, and then also approved by the voters in 2015. So this was a 0.2% sales tax that we put in front of the voters. The voters said, yes, we want to see roads get better. The number one complaint we get in roads is pothole.
Yep.
And we've actually got data that shows potholes are going down because we're upgrading streets. We're replacing them. We're renewing them. We're doing things that are making streets better. So the pothole complaints are going down. So the 0.2% sales tax was put to the voters. They said, yes, these dollars can only be used on street projects. We can't take this money and go over and build a new water facility or do something in stormwater. They have to be used on city streets. And I think if people were to go out and drive North Gold, South Gold right now, that entire length, probably 1.5 miles from the viaduct to Marion Street, has been replaced over the last 10 years. All of it's been upgraded, ADA ramps, signage, pavement, sidewalks, things like that. So that money can only be spent. We had two choices when we went. It was either a car tab tax, which only focuses on Centralia residents, or the sales tax, which then, with our sports hub being successful and things like that, people coming into town that are buying goods here, they're helping pay for those roads that they're using. So that was, I thought, an easy sale, and council agreed. Let's do the 0.2% sales tax. That is coming up for a vote again this year. We're asking citizens to look at that and possibly renew it. It's not a new tax. It's an existing 0.2% sales tax. So we want to continue it. We want to continue improving our roads and making that, and the other benefit to that is Rob Hill, former city manager, wanted to put 40% of those funds in a pot where we could leverage other state and federal dollars. And that has been really, really successful. I can't remember the exact numbers. I think they're in this little handout I have here, but leveraging over $8 million in federal or state funds with very little local funds, without those local funds to match that, because most of those TIB grants and grants like that require either a 12.5% or up to 25% match.
Yep.
So, if you have a $2 million project and it's a 25% match, we've got to come up with $500,000. Where does that come from if we don't have the money to invest in it? So,
yeah, no, it's a good program, one, because I think that it also addresses the fact that we have a lot of tourism, sports tourism, so it's not just on the backs of our local citizens, it's on the people who use our streets. But the other thing that you and I talked a little bit about this before the show is that, look, taxes, people don't want to pay any more taxes. Taxes are too high. But what they want to know more than anything is if they're going to pay a tax, that it's used for the purpose that it's promised for. And this is one of those examples where, hey, this money can't be used not only just in water, but it can't just go into the general fund and be, spent away on something that's not transportation related. It should be, and it is used for the things it's meant to. And the leveraging is a great point, because that's how we did the safe streets or the safe sidewalk from the middle school to the high school, was to leverage it to get Borst done. I mean, without that money and without the leveraging that money, that would never happen, and that road for our students would be unsafe.
Yep. That was a joint city-county project, because 38% of that road is in the county. Excuse me. And 62% in the city. So joint project, but it had its match requirements. That project, I think, was $3.8 million. Doesn't happen without county and city match dollars. If people take a drive out Galvin Road from Fords Ferry School out to the county line, that road was all just repaved. Match money was required. North Gold, South Gold, Harrison Avenue. Big project this year coming up on Schuber's going to start here within a couple of weeks, from Galvin Road over to Mount Vista. This is part of that whole big West Side connector, that new bridge over the Chehalis River. That's going to happen sometime in the future. But North Schuber, we get complaint after complaint after complaint about potholes on that road, and so now it's going to get rebuilt. It's going to get stormwater, sidewalks, new pavement. These projects do not happen without grants and then our own matching money to make them happen. So I would just ask people to look at that. If they have questions, they can call Centralia Public Works, and we can answer questions for them about TBD.
Or give you a call in Idaho.
Yeah, they could call me in Idaho.
I know you'd do it too. Hey, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors. With me, Mr. Centralia, Kim Ashmore. We'll be back in just a few minutes to talk to him a little bit about some of the other priorities he has and his future in Idaho, but his love for Centralia. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned. We'll be back with Kim Ashmore on the Let's Talk About It show.
Hey, it's your local real estate professional, Heather Stewart with Blade Realty. Real estate remains one of the most reliable paths to financial growth. With mortgage rates stabilizing and housing inventory still somewhat limited, it's an opportune time to invest. Home ownership isn't just about a place to live. It's a powerful tool for building your long-term wealth. If you're ready to start or plan to continue your journey toward financial freedom through real estate, let's connect and I'll help you open that door. Meet me at heatherstewartrealty.com.
Trying to explain your case to a judge isn't like on TV. Once you finally file the required paperwork, then the judge reads your case, and many times the nuances of your unique situation aren't considered. Court is not designed to solve every conflict. That's why you should try mediation. Mediation is an affordable way for you to discuss your dispute in a safe, neutral space. With mediation, the outcome is in your hands and within reach. Find the Community Mediation Center near you at communitymediationcenters.org.
LeMay of Lewis County is proud to provide collections, transfer, and recycling services to residential and commercial customers in Lewis County and South Thurston County. LeMay provides safe, reliable, and environmentally conscious trash and recycling services for residential or commercial. Waste Connections owned, locally operated. They offer convenient pickup times and reliable service. Visit lewis.lemayinc.com to learn more or get a quote. For safety, integrity, and customer service, it's LeMay of Lewis County.
Market Fresh has a rewards program. Download from the App Store and save big at the register. It's Market Fresh PNW Rewards.
This week's deals include a free box of Fran's Donuts with $20 purchase, Nabisco crackers, Pop-Tarts, Mission tortillas, and Treetop juices are $1.99 each, and Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce is only 99 cents, plus many more amazing deals.
Find all weekly deals, digital or clip and save, on Facebook and MarketFreshOnline.com. Market Fresh, your locally owned full-service grocery store in Toledo and Tenino.
You're listening to KELA's Let's Talk About It, coming to you live From the KELA Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel broadcast studio in the beautiful Twin Cities, let's talk about it.
All right, welcome back to the Let's Talk About It show, AM1470 KELA and KELAAM.com. I'm your host, Peter Abbarno, on this wonderful Friday edition of the Let's Talk About It show. My special guest, as I called him, Mr. Centralia, Kim Ashmore. Kim, we were talking a little bit about the Transportation Benefit District. We were talking a little bit about, some of those improvements. Tell me a little bit more.
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, these projects, looking for state and federal funding to complete them, they always require some kind of a match between 12.5% and 25%. Schuber Road is getting completed here. It's going to start construction here in the next couple of weeks. But other projects, I think people have heard about the Schuber Road Bridge or the West Side Connector, North County Interchange. These are all projects that are kind of on that horizon. But locally for Centralia, we've got Washington and Oakview Elementary School safety improvement coming up. Those were match money projects as well. First Street asphalt paving, repaving of First Street, which gets a lot of traffic. Got Edison School there. That's a project that's scheduled for 2025, and then future projects. And these, I say future because it's pending that TBD passage coming up. Reynolds Avenue, Harrison Dig Once project. That project's been out there for a couple of years. And Kresge Avenue and Suma Signal. That is the number one intersection for accidents for the city of Centralia. Yeah. And so we're looking at signalizing that intersection. Main Street paving from U to Tower, and then Harrison Avenue, I-5 to Johnson. So, that's a little rough stretch of road right there between Harrison. And you know what traffic is on Harrison. That's why that West Side Connector is so important. We need to try to get some of that traffic off of Harrison.
Well, and it's been a priority of mine working with the city and the county because, everyone knows, look, when you have street projects, it's an inconvenience, right? It's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's not just about safety. It's about traffic flow. When you improve these streets, you also improve traffic flow. And we need to deal with the congestion issues. And what we're doing in the North County, what we're doing around Reynolds, what we're doing with Schuber are all aimed at looking at how we can relieve some of that congestion and get the flow going. And emergencies. I mean, I remember working at the middle school, setting up, family tents when we had flooding. And then to walk out in the morning and find out that I couldn't get home because everything was flooded. And I thought to myself, well, what if someone needed to get to the hospital, right? We need to plan better. And it's tough and when we have a lot of flooding to plan better, but you're helping get that done and working from the city's perspective on how we can make our city better and get around easier. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely need another access to the hospital because right now you have the CD lanes, and if those are blocked for whatever reason, they're blocked, your only other option is go around Cooks Hill all the way up and around. And if you're trying to get to the hospital, life safety is maybe important. Taking a 3-mile 5-mile detour around and up over a hill, probably not the quickest way to get.
No, and people complain a lot about traffic from the sports hub, traffic from the port, traffic from just Harrison generally. This is how we help try to relieve some of that congestion. And so I mean, it sounds kind of, crass, but you can't complain about it and then not help try to fix the problems, right? Correct. I mean, growth is just a natural thing that's going to happen. So how do we as a city grow? And it starts with infrastructure, which you and I both have passions for. And it starts with roads and making sure that people can get around and we can get people to their houses and get people around without so much congestion.
Absolutely. The sports hub is a tax revenue generator. Just like the high school and middle school when it comes to sports, and we host district tournaments, that brings people to town, and we want people to come to town, spend their money, help us, improve those roads because that 0.2% sales tax is directly impacting roads. And I would answer any question on roads if anybody has questions. We are spending that money and we're being as proactive as we can, and we're trying to use every penny as wisely as we can. But, we got to look for those grants. Leverage those dollars that we're collecting with that sales tax to build bigger projects and get more money from TIB and the state and federal government. All kinds of grants out there. We just need to have the match money to make them happen.
Yeah. So let's shift real quick from Kim Ashmore, Centralia Public Works, to Kim Ashmore, the man, the myth, the legend. So, today's your last day, technically. I mean, how does it feel?
There's been times where I've kind of wondered, am I making the right decision? I probably never thought I would ever leave Centralia. But my son-in-law, daughter, and 3 grandbabies in Idaho, about a year and a half ago, I've shared this with a lot of people. My then probably 3-year-old granddaughter, we asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and she said she wanted Papa and Mima to live in Idaho.
Yeah.
And so that really, a year and a half ago, got me thinking about retirement. How long am I going to work? Is there a magic age? Is there a magic time in life where you decide, okay, I've wrapped up this big project, time to go? For me, it was just, I just turned 62 2 days ago. And, that's 41 years plus with the City of Centralia. Yeah. 62, I don't get penalized much for retiring. So a 4.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and about a 3-week-old grandson over there with my daughter and son-in-law, and I want to be close to them. And we're driving over tomorrow morning after there's a little party today at Dick's Brewery to celebrate my 41 years. So if you haven't seen the flyer, or people are listening and thinking, I want to say goodbye to that guy, or maybe they want to kick me out the door faster, that's fine. But we'll head to Idaho, and my 3 brothers and sister and nieces and nephews and in-laws, there's still a lot of family here. So you will still see me around from time to time. We will come back when we need to. We're going to try to plan some trips back with special, birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. We're going to be back here. Just we're going to be over there more full time.
Well, there's too many Ashmores. You can't get rid of y'all.
Correct.
So when you get there, you've had such an amazing career, especially giving back to the community. And you referenced this early on. It'll be really interesting to see. Work is one thing. Work for money is one thing. But work for passion is another that you never get out of your blood. There's never a time to stop working with and for passion. So I imagine you go to Idaho, you start looking around, and you're like, all right, I'm back in. How can I help out this town or city or county or community? I bet you jump right in.
I think I will. One of the things I've done already with my 4.5-year-old granddaughter is we walk around the golf course and pick up garbage. And so I'm trying to show her, what public service means. And, they have a golf cart, and she loves going for golf cart rides. So, it's easy to drive around the neighborhood and pick up garbage if you're in the golf cart. But I am looking at, my family adopted the freeway here years ago for picking up garbage. I'm looking at that option in our neighborhood. Walking around the golf course, picking up garbage is definitely something I'm going to do. I already told the club pro, John Lewis, at the golf course, I don't want a full-time job, but if you need somebody to fill in when somebody can't make it, I might be that guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got the CUNA City Council meetings the first and third Tuesday of every month plugged into my calendar. So, I'm driving over tomorrow. Next Tuesday might be my first CUNA City Council meeting. Just go listen and observe. And, I'm going to be active with the Centralia. Kristen's got me on the email thread for our council meeting, so I can zoom in from Idaho every once in a while and see what's going on in the City of Centralia. So I want to make sure our award-winning drinking water is still award-winning.
Award-winning. That's right. Well, some people don't understand the difference between groundwater treatment and surface water treatment and how special Centralia is being on a critical aquifer and having clean water.
Yeah,
right?
And that's very important. It's one of the big projects, that we're working on is protecting that aquifer. And, we want to keep that water as pure as we can. So we've got to try to minimize the number of septics, the potential for spills out in that neighborhood. There's just a lot of things that go into protecting that aquifer, and that is our sole source of drinking water. And we want to keep it award-winning. We want to keep it pure. And, we're doing everything we can to make sure we keep it that way.
Well, Kim, we're running out of time. We got about 30 seconds. Your passion for the city, the community, our students shows this interview obviously proves and evidences all of your passion. And from my family, from me, and from everyone else, we wish you well. We want to see you back, and we're wishing you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was Kim Ashmore here on the Let's Talk About It show, AM1470 KELA and KELAAM.com. I was your host today. Today's Friday the 27th. And just have a great weekend. Enjoy it. There's a lot of amazing community events this weekend and coming up over the next few weeks. And I'll be back here on the Let's Talk About It show, popping in and out. But just tune in every single weekday morning at 8:30 right here on KELA. Have a great weekend.
From the KE